Bright Lights, Celebration of English Language Development. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bring the team up here.
Be great.
All right, well, thank you for having us tonight, and I'm supposed to use the microphone, that's right.
Thanks for taking time out of your schedule to come.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for highlighting our English Language Department tonight. My name is Marisa Nathan, the English Language Development Coordinator, and I'm going to introduce my friends here in just a minute. Tonight, what we are sharing with you is our work with the teaching channel. We were here back in the fall where we shared some of our work with our dual language program, but this is specific to our English language development program at Horning High School. And so through a partnership with Teaching Channel, the School District of Waukesha, and Confianza, Equity, Language, and Literacy, we had the opportunity to host a teaching channel in our district. So I'd like to introduce you to my team, or maybe you guys should introduce yourselves and kind of say what you do in the district and where you go to school.
My name is Chris Knutson. I'm a social studies teacher at Horning Middle School, both 6th and 8th grade.
I'm Charlie Ortega. Oh, my bad, I wasn't pressing. I'm Charlie Ortega, and I'm a student from last year that participated in this teaching channel.
I'm David Interit. I'm a student from last year from Horning.
Yep. And I'm Shannon Kay. I'm an English language development specialist at Horning.
I'm Meredith Sweeney, and I teach 8th grade humanities at Horning.
All right, thank you, team. So the goal of the School District of Waukesha Multilingual Program is for all students to be academic language learners, or ALLs, in order to access curriculum in all content areas to be college and career ready. And so we're going to show you some of the practices that we use and that we highlighted on the teaching channel. And this practice is called expert groups, and I think Shannon's going to tell you a little bit about that before we share our video with you.
Sure, you're just going to see a small portion of this video. This is a strategy that took maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Basically, the kids are given the opportunity to become experts in a certain area of the content that we're studying, and they are given the charge to learn about and then teach their peers about that topic. They employ 3 of the 4 domains of language. This is very heavy on listening, active listening, as well as speaking and reading.
Watch the video.
When Lincoln died, President Johnson came in the role.
So Andrew Johnson's a big name, did you remember?
Yeah, Andrew Johnson was part of it.
Important facts were that before the Civil War, there were no public schools, so all white people had to pay to a teacher to go there.
So I know President Johnson wanted a veto to go against. Yeah, go against. So take it away.
So not everybody could go to school.
Yeah, because he didn't want white people or black people to go to school because he thought it was interfering with states' rights.
How confident do you feel in your ability to add information to our chart? Do you feel like you understand it really well?
Yeah.
Now's your time. If there's anything you're confused about, ask your expert before we share our information.
Why did it happen?
Because they were trying to rebuild the Union after the war.
When you say before the Civil War they didn't have public school, was it they didn't have public schools for nobody? Okay. Just the whites had tutors at home. Okay.
They needed to find something to do, so that's why they created this program to help them. So it was really good with them, but white people got mad at them because they were thinking, oh, they're free and now they're getting more rights.
What's the impact on African Americans and all white schools for black people? Gave food to poor whites and freedmen in the South.
Howard.
Yeah.
Oliver Johnson.
No, Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. Abraham Lincoln.
Congress.
And Congress.
Yeah.
Once every team feels comfortable that they know their information well, we moved on to a process grid. All right, we're going to transition and start sharing out that information that you just learned. We do collect the experts' notes. So we really want to focus on that active listening. Did they hear it? Did they really learn it? Is it in their head?
We're going to open up the first 3 categories of our process grid. Who was involved? When and where did it take place? And why did it happen or exist? Purple team, number 4.
Who was involved? The Congress.
Remember that this round is worth 30 points for each answer.
Each team will receive points. These points don't count towards anything, but students like that competition. They like that little reward.
Over to red team.
We only open up a certain number of categories at a time, so we're asking students just the basics first. It gives them some choice without being too overwhelming. It gives them the scaffold.
Let's go ahead and open up the rest of the board as well if you have something that you'd like to add for the impact on African Americans and or whites.
Just a reminder, you're in a team for a reason. When your spoon is called, as a team, you can help out that person who is sharing.
Let's hear from the yellow team. Number 4.
For the impact, it helped establish education in the South.
Even if the information is incorrect or incomplete, we do write it on the board to show their learning, and later the students will get extra points for correcting mistakes or adding information that was missed.
Purple team, number 2.
There's no public schools because she just said schools instead of
Oh,
public
yeah.
schools.
There were no public schools before the Civil War.
To add in public
Yeah.
schools?
Yeah.
Because they're very specific in information. Thank you. Like it.
So what I'd like you to notice in the video is that we keep the rigor and the expectations very high. Our students are learning English in this class, but we're not watering down the curriculum. We're supporting them with these specific supports around the expert groups, and around sticks and spoons is another strategy that we saw in the video. So if there's anything that you ladies would like to add, or Chris,
Can
about
I
how this
interrupt with a
helps.
question that might help us? The population of students that we're dealing with here, could you help us understand the cross-section? I don't mean here, I mean
In
here.
class, I think Shannon would be best to
Oh,
answer
okay,
that question.
because I'm confused as to exactly who we're dealing with here.
So it was and it continues to be a monolingual English classroom, but our English language learners are in the class as well. So second language learners as well as native English speakers as well.
Well, there are, okay, that was part of it. There are native English speakers in there with non-native English speakers.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
All levels. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, that helps.
Yes.
The differentiation, some of that comes in to when we make the groupings. We're very strategic in who is an expert in teaching what particular topic, and so those texts can be leveled and those supports can be put in place to help students be successful.
Thank you.
And one thing that's very unique about this situation, you'll see that there's 3 teachers here, and they're supporting 2 classes. So you had about 45 students between the 2 rooms, is that correct? So we had 45 students total, and we had like an open kind of concept classroom.
Okay, thanks.
So I'd like to open it up unless we have anything to add. If you have any questions for our students here tonight, or the teachers.
I'm not the only one here. I will.
Mrs. Ranchak?
Thank you. To Charlie and David, how has this helped you in, what high school are you in now? Are you in high school?
I'm in West.
Okay,
In South.
excellent. And so how has this class helped you?
It made me understand more of like reading text and then analyzing it and putting it into a note sheet kind of thing. Because I was never like that good at taking out text and putting it into my own words and like writing it down on a note sheet. And this experience as like a teacher really helped me explain what I was like learning through text and putting it into my own words on a note sheet. And it was like it got me really in the mode to like how to like express my my learning.
And do you feel that you can take this into other subjects as well, and just pretty much whatever, even if it's not even in school, let's say you're reading an article or hearing something on the television, do you kind of picture these boxes now instead of it just being one big burst of information? Does this help you categorize it and who, when?
Yeah, I still tend to like make notes in my like notebook or something or a piece of paper to like jot down my notes and get my thoughts down. And like if anybody has any like, oh, didn't it say this? And I can like come back with like notes right there handy for myself. And it like really made me like think about how to take notes and how to make my learning better and how to make my organization of my thoughts clearer.
Excellent. And anything for you?
I think it's helped me a lot because since I first got here, I don't really understand those taking notes stuff as much as from right now after taking the class because like it's helped me understand more of what I should be paying attention on and what should I be answering more.
And do you guys, now that you're experts in it, do you have any ideas how to make the class better? Like now that you are ahead of this, when you see yourself back then, are you thinking, yeah, you know what, if there were prizes for those points? Or, I just mean anything. Is there any way that you would do things different?
Well, I really don't have anything to like add on to what I said because I thought it was like really like, such a good idea for like how it like turned out, and I love teaching other people and like love like helping other people teach because there's, as Ms. K said, there's like several students that didn't know how to speak English, or there was people that knew how to speak English and they just needed extra help or some kind of thing like that. And it was really interesting to like get to know those people more and like help them and get out of their comfort zone and try to like explain their knowledge. I mean, explain what they wrote down, and it's like really, it was like really nice to like get to know them and such.
And I would think that you would have maybe some empathy for maybe someone who didn't know English as well as you, or you thought maybe you didn't know it very well, but then there was someone else who was maybe, they weren't the teacher, but you were learning from them. And did you like that group atmosphere where you guys were all sharing, instead of just learning all from a book or something? Did you think that helped you learn better that way?
Definitely, because it was coming from kids and like our peers, and it felt like very like in our own words, like what kind of words we'd use if we weren't like. I'm not saying like what they're saying is confusing or anything, but like if it like in kid form kind of thing, like peers, it's like it seems more like you can understand it better and you're able to memorize it and like get it in your head.
Okay, great.
Mr. Baumgart.
What, for the two of you again, what path have you followed prior to middle school to get into speaking English? Have you been in our bilingual program, or what have you done previously prior to Horning?
Well, for me, I've never been in like a bilingual. I've always wanted to be like a part of one, but I've never been like a part of an actual bilingual program. But like it was really nice to like help them explain what they're trying to say out loud when I was helping somebody that didn't know how to speak English that well. So it was really nice to like get that experience and like explain what they wrote down instead of like a teacher saying, "Oh, you wrote this down and you're gonna say this kind of thing," and then like helping them I feel like made them get more understanding of what they were doing.
Excellent, thank you.
I'm not in bilingual program, but I did move from Thailand to here.
Oh.
So for almost 3 years now. So I got some help from the teacher to help me with it. And yeah.
Thank you.
Mrs. Ryanchek.
Thank you. David, you just reminded me of a question. So did you meet anyone else that spoke your language? So was anyone else from Thailand that you could, that might help you learn better?
I did meet someone. Her name is Vasana, but she go to West too, and she also from Thailand, and she doesn't speak that well too. So
Did you help each other?
yeah, we do
Did you know any English before you came here?
a little bit, not as much as now.
Do you think that you'll take any other languages besides?
Not right now, but maybe later.
Okay. Doing great. You're doing great. Both of you are.
So, when our students, other language, if they don't have Spanish as a first language, then we don't have a bilingual program for them. And so that's the purpose of English language development within the classrooms. And so you can see the intentionality behind these practices, and that's what we're getting at when we say, we do specific strategies and scaffolds to support all students to be successful in the class. And this is really, I want to honor these teachers and, let them know what a great job they did between their intentionality behind this to make our students successful. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris, you wanted to say one more thing?
Yeah, and I mean, we want to thank the school district as well, because this training, was obviously sponsored by the school district, and we actually went through 2 rounds of different training for this in order to get to this point. So we appreciate that opportunity.
I'm impressed.
If you'd like to see any of our other videos again, we have some that we use. The whole country is looking at our videos, just so you know. They're all over the place. They're honoring our school district. So I encourage you, I know we shared this with you last time, but there are some specific to Horning Middle School and some specific strategies that we highlight. So I really encourage you to take a look, because everybody's looking at them.
Yeah, Mrs. Reinacek.
Thank you. Chris, Meredith, and Shannon, how did you get the idea for this particular chart, and where else do you get your ideas? If we're kind of on the cutting edge of doing things, how do you come up with these?
Yeah. So it's a strategy that we learned as far as the different, having the topics and having the differentiated articles, and all of that's part of the strategies that we've learned. But we sat together as history and literacy and talked about the content. And as far as the history content, what content do we want them to know? This was the Reconstruction era, where there's just so many different pieces of history, and we thought the best way to do that would be having them help teach each piece. So I think we had Freedmen's Bureau and Ku Klux Klan, and we had 5, I forget all of them right now. But just the content led itself to having lots of different options, and to make it interesting having the students teach it, because it's not always the most exciting part of history. And then afterwards we came together with a Civil War project and talked about Reconstruction and how do we rebuild all together now that we've looked at all the individual pieces. But we've used it this year and previous years with different content. We've used it in Revolutionary War battles. We just finished it with Civil War perspectives, looking at primary sources from all different perspectives. But we adjust based on the content, and then we develop the top 5 categories based on the content we want the students to know and what we think will be most interesting to the kids in front of us.
Excellent.
Then it's a matter of finding the articles and differentiating them to meet the content that we select and the needs in front of us.
It's like if you found a strategy that's working, then why change it? I mean, you can change the content, yes, but if that system is working for you and it seems that the students enjoy it too, then roll with it. Thank you.
For the teachers, could you tell me, is this teaming experience unique to Horning, or is it happening at other middle schools in Waukesha?
Or other schools, period.
Or other schools?
High school would be great too.
So maybe I'll speak to this because I kind of work across the district and all the schools. So we have some different co-teaching partnerships. All of our English language development specialists are asked to co-teach with at least one content teacher. This is unique in the sense that it's 3 teachers, which is amazing. So otherwise, yes, we do have co-teaching partnerships in all of our schools.
So
Well, in all of our schools that are supported by an English language development specialist.
middle schools and high schools?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And elementary.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Excellent. Any other questions? Nope. Fantastic. I think that it really
Very
is a
good.
great way
Thank
to
you very
teach.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.